Hello and welcome to Anime with Astoria. And today, it's the big one. It's the Trigun remake. Trigun Stampede episode 1. We're doing it. We're watching it. We'll see how it goes. I would have liked to have gone into this completely blind. I have heard a few things. But I, with it being a remake, right, or a reboot, or however you want to contextualize this or conceptualize it, I'm just going to assume there's always going to be a segment of the original fan base that's going to be unhappy. So I'm not going to be overly. I'm not going to take on board some of the stuff that I've heard too much. You know, I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt. So as far as my experience with the franchise is concerned, I have seen the original show. I've read the entire manga. My understanding is that this will not be like either of those things. The show is one of these ones where the show came out and ended fairly conclusively before the manga was finished, like a long time before the manga was finished. So it's an anime original ending, more or less. So the anime and the manga ended up being fairly separate things. The manga is weird because it starts as Trigun, and then there is it kind of started, it ran for a while, then it got cancelled, and then it started again as Trigun Maximum. Trigun Maximum is sort of a continuation, sort of a sequel, sort of a thematic reboot as well. It's kind of different tonally. So there's a bit of a disconnect in the manga already, and there's a disconnect between the original anime and the manga. And it seems like this is going to be a third, or depending on whether you say the manga is 2 parts or one, maybe even a fourth version of the story is what this is going to be. So I have experienced all of the material before, but not for a very long time. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to someone about it, and I think it could be. It's definitely over 10 years since I watched the anime. Like, it's at least 10 years. And it could be closer to 15, which is terrifying. And I finished the manga when the manga finished, which I think, again, was about 10 years ago. I think that was 2009, Trigun Maximum finished. And I think I read it close to the end of its publication, and then caught up with the last bit of it as it came out. So long time, over 10, well, it's over 10 years since I saw since I read the manga, and then possibly closer to 15 since I saw the original show. I did think about rewatching it before this, but I'm like, I'd heard that this was going to be a kind of fresh take on it. I've seen some of the alternate character designs and stuff, so I'm like, I don't want to poison my experience by going back to something that I know I liked and then seeing a completely different interpretation of that. So there's no point, right? I might rewatch the original anime or read the manga after this, though. That could be potentially interesting, depending on how this ends. I'm also not sure how many episodes this is, actually. I don't know if it's 12 or 24. I'm guessing it's probably 12. Anyway, and this is CGI, so that's going to be interesting. Although I was going to check this before I started, and I forgot. I believe this is the same studio that did Land of the Lustrous, Hoseki no Kuni, which is one of my favorite shows ever. So I am in no way biased against the CG. And if indeed it is the same studio, which I'm pretty sure it is, I'm sure I saw that beforehand, then it's in good hands there. I think they've got a thing where they do CG models, but it's actually 2D animated faces on the CG models, which means you get way more expression than you would out of something like Knights of Sidonia or Ajin Demi-Human. That was a good. Knights of Sidonia was actually better for character expressions, but like Ajin Demi-Human, if anyone remembers, that was kind of a cool show. But very, very robotic expressions, which kind of let the whole thing down a little bit because there was a lot of kind of important character moments in that. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be good in this, if it's the same studio as Lustrous. The only thing that maybe biases me against this slightly is that they're making this instead of another season of Hoseki no Kuni, which there is more than enough manga material to make. So yeah, hopefully once they're done with this, maybe they'll go back and make more of my favorite show, but we'll see. I'm kind of drifting from the point here. But yeah, more Trigun. Yeah, pretty much regardless of what this does, it's going to be controversial with the original fans, just because it is different. But let's see. Oh yeah, and I have heard that Millie isn't in this. So yeah, I mean that's a black mark on this. We'll see if she turns up at some point, but she seemed to have been replaced by a different character from what I saw, which that's not going to be popular because she is a very popular character, and she might have been my favorite character as well. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe she'll turn up later on. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, Trigun Stampede. Let's go. So this is going to be as with all the reactions, it's going to be a timer-based reactions. So I will have a little sliver of the show at the bottom to help with sync, and we will do a 3, 2, 1 countdown before I start my copy. I'm just going to make sure I've actually got that queued up. Yes, I do now. I didn't. So if I'd done 3, 2, 1, it wouldn't have actually started when I hit the spacebar. That would have been embarrassing. I would have had to edit that out. Not that I've ever had to do that before on previous videos. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to do 3, 2, 1, then start. So here we go. Got my copy up, and we're going to go 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I'm going to try and keep this relatively spoiler free, although I don't know what direction this is, you know, how meaningful that'll be, depending on how different this is. Okay, we're starting in space. It's been so long since I saw anything or read anything Trigun related. I'm not sure how much I remember anyway. Cool ship though. Okay, that's cool. Oh, that's very cool actually. I think we need to turn this up a little bit. Okay, colonists. Stasis. That's cute. Oops. Hey, young Vash. Okay. That was a cool shot following in the hallway. The other one. Yeah, this is definitely the same studio. I mean, I've been very embarrassed if I'm wrong, but this is definitely the same studio that did Hoseki no Kuni. So something about the way they do the movement and the faces as well. She's not coming. God, those expressions are so good. That was cool. The pull back through the escape pod. Cool. We're getting the full trench run here. Nice. There's a hell of an opening. Orange. Yeah, that's Seki no Kuni, yeah. I think. Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's a lot of very early backstory. We didn't get that in the original till much later. Boo, Roberto. It's because it's implied he's the one who's replacing Millie. There's Meryl. Saving the face reveal. Oh, that's subtlety of the mouth movements is really good for. There she is. Yeah, I think this is the thing they did with Hoseki no Kuni, where it's the 2D faces on the 3D models. Works super well. It's a really good way of doing it. Hey, the spice must flow. Where's Paul? Get the hooks out. Big June influences on Trigun. June Mad Max. Oh, that was dumb. Going out in the desert. Does he? That was very Disney, actually, that expression. She's after her scoop. Wait, is that? I don't think that's a corpse. Oh, wow, the arm. That's interesting. That's a character introduction. Oh, I like how you can see the lining, the like turquoise lining of the coat. The arm is super interesting. It's an interesting choice to make his arm so obvious, actually. I don't think they're there to help you. Yeah, that's him back there. Double dollars. Oh, I forgot about that. Her expressions are so good. Interesting, but what's your motivation for doing that? Well, I guess she wants her scoop. Hmm. I'm struggling to remember, but I don't think they met until quite a lot later in the original, at least in the anime. Then gradually drifting out of focus. That's neat. I feel like they're doing something slightly unusual with the faces and the character designs of the faces as well. Oh, hello. Actual world map. Cool. I should have grabbed a notepad for this one, actually. I'll remember next time. It's like a giant ostrich, yeah, with the coffin strapped to it. It's the saloon going in with the double doors. Is everyone going to look around when she comes in? Nah, we're not going quite that stereotypical. It's a good thing when the whole thing is 3D, you can use your good 3D models for background characters, they don't stick out so much. He's popular. It's going to be difficult to take him in now. That's all the water they've got. I like what they're doing with the glasses, actually. That looks better in motion than it did in the stills that I saw of this. Now we've got the plant. That's cool. So I wonder if they've changed the nature of these. Or if they are what they were in the original. I can't get over how good her expressions are. Okay, we got the terraforming machines. Hmm. Can't have a gunfight in here, that would be bad. Ooh, are they going to turn on him? I don't think so. Poor Vash. That coat is so cool, like the little details with the lining and everything. And he's tied up again. Okay, is he going to talk their way out of it? Well, he is meant to be extremely dangerous, to be fair. I kind of feel like you shouldn't have found that convincing. Oh, bets are in. But has he got the signature revolver? He better have. He's got to have that Mateva. Or I'm not sure it's a real Mateva, but based on it. Aren't you supposed to arrange a signal or something for a duel, you know? Like walk 10 paces, turn and fire, or like a flag going up or something. What's he doing? Okay, that's one way of winning a duel. I don't think that's how a duel works, but okay. Okay, how are we going to deal with this? Music's been really good so far as well. Ooh, that was a cool shot. Revolver's different. Yeah, it's got no bullets. Aren't you going to die in this as well? And also, didn't that other guy throw his gun at you? It's only a 22? Really? These cluster bombs are taking a long time to fall. That was cool as well. Like the leg going back and then, yeah. When did you get your gun back? You threw it. We're not going to question it. It's fine. Also, that was a hell of a shot. Why didn't he just shoot Vash with his amazing... Okay, never mind. Again, we won't question it. That's a giant gun for a 22, but... Ooh. Oh. That was sick. Oh, wow. That was amazing. Okay. That was cool. Playing it. Yeah, he's dealt with them before. Okay. Okay, we've gone into this early. Okay. Cool. There's knives. Very early to be pulling this stuff in, but okay. Is this our OP or ED? This looks like an ED. Yeah. I'm guessing this is going to be our ED and we just skip the OP. Yeah, this has got to be an ED. It doesn't sound like an OP song. Okay, I like that a lot, actually. That was really cool. Confirms a suspicion I had. It's definitely reorganizing the plot a lot, maybe even more than I thought it would, but I should maybe hold off because I kind of want to see if anything interesting comes up in the CD, but it's mostly just cool kind of imagery that we've got here. Trigun Stampede. Oh, nice. An ED card as well. Oh, that's cool. That ED card looks like it's the traditional Vash character design as well. See if I can just bring that up again. I might put it up on the screen. There we go. That's cool. Doesn't look like a almost looks like concept art rather than a kind of traditional end card. I wonder if that's by the original mangaka. Might be. That's cool. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted by that at the end there, but that was good. I really liked that. It looks amazing. Like that. That looks really good. It's definitely that. Let me just confirm that, because if I keep going on about this being the studio that did Doseki no Kuni, and it's not, I'm gonna look like a total idiot because it's Studio Orange. Let me just make absolutely sure that that's true. Yeah, Beastars, Land of the Lustrous, and Godzilla show. Interesting. I don't remember that. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, same studio, and a lot of stuff I really recognize. Weirdly, more so than Beastars. I wonder if maybe some of the production staff who worked on Hoseki no Kuni worked on this, but didn't work on Beastars, because Beastars had a kind of very different vibe. But this is big Hoseki no Kuni vibes to it. Like just something about the way the characters move, and I mean, I guess Beastars, because no one has a normal human face, like I'm recognizing a lot of the facial animation in this. I think I'm right on that, in the way they did the facial animation in Land of the Lustrous is that it's a full 3D model, but it's a traditionally animated or 2D animated face projected onto the 3D model, which is how they get these amazing expressions without it having that kind of standard CG Uncanny Valley thing. I think that's how they did that. Maybe I'm wrong on that as well, but it looks a lot like that's what they did, and it looks here like that's what they're doing as well, because some of those faces were incredible. Like some of Meryl's faces, Meryl's the character designs are interesting in this, actually, because they're really they feel really different from the original, and they look quite Disney at points, which is interesting. Like I say Disney, and I'm immediately not going to mention a Disney film, but I rewatched The Iron Giant recently. Maybe more accurate to say what kind of Western style animation in some shots. Something to do with. I'm going to look through and see if I can find a good Meryl face here, because she had some great expressions through this. Yeah, I'll put up some stills while I'm talking about this of what I was looking at. Yeah, because she's amazing. She's they put so much life into her expressions, and Vash's as well, but specifically. Okay, yeah. So we've got some amazing Meryl expressions, and yeah, that is that sequence there is super Disney. That's really interesting. It's so smooth. That the character animation is just it's so good. And I like the updated character designs as well. Oh, there we go. Lost my face for a second there. I think I still have some streaming hotkeys set up for moving things around, which is why that went a bit weird there. Hopefully we didn't lose the mic. I don't think we did. Should be fine. Might have to edit around that. But anyway, yeah, there's some amazing stuff here in terms of the character animation, and the character. Yeah, got distracted from what I was saying. The character designs are really good. I really like them. I know I had kind of tried to avoid stuff about this beforehand, but I know that people were a little unsure about Vash, about what they did with him, because he does look very different from what he did in the original. It's interesting. The the kind of very silly picture Merrill has of him looks like his original character design rather than his new one, which is that's funny. But like, he looks great. Like he's so well designed. Like, I'd be really interested to see like the character sheet for him, because he's got all this stuff going on. The arm is really interesting because Vash in the original has a mechanical arm, but the way they've done this is this sort of weird skeletal, or sort of slightly skeletal, almost slightly organic looking thing is really cool. And just the fact that when he's hanging upside down when he comes up, again, I'll put some images in of this. Like you can see the lining of his coat, and it's this turquoise that matches the arm under the red, and that's so cool. And he's got this seed patch on the arm as well. The hip hole, yeah. And he's got the tall kind of popped collar that Vash had in the original design, but it's kind of abstracted out a little bit. And he's wearing a black turtleneck. Hey, and I really like they did a few things through the episode with the reflection in the glasses, making them kind of opaque and then transparent. And they did that a bit with the original because they're so big on his face this time. It really kind of changes his whole face in a way that's really interesting. Yeah, so you can kind of turn, and then you see the very kind of soft eyes under the mirroring when he turns around. I like that character's design a lot. I think it. I wonder if the naysayers are still naysaying, because I think that looks a lot better in motion with what they do with it than it did in the stills, which I actually think is true of a lot of this. This looks really, really cool. And I think I just accidentally moved something again, but that's fine. This looks really, really cool. Yeah. This is great. And then the bar scene. And they've got the dirty water, and Vash is very popular because he's previously repaired the plant. That's a very. I think this is all. It's been so long since I saw the original. I think this is all new, basically, or it's not new exactly, but it's pieces pulled from other things to assemble this. So this is all familiar, but it's all been. It's like someone's taken a jigsaw puzzle, disassembled it, and then like recut all the parts and put it together to form a different picture. It's interesting. We're clearly accelerating things, which that's not going to be popular. I like it. I like the opening scene. I like having that set up. This show has definitely dispensed with some things that were mysteries in the middle. People are not going to like that. I think it's fine. I have always been someone I don't get too annoyed about spoilers. I think I've always been more of a journey over the destination kind of person when it comes to stories. I don't think you need to have giant overarching mysteries to tell an entertaining story. But having said that, there were things in the original that were kind of played out as mysteries that have now been already revealed. Like we know we've got knives. We've got so the opening scene we had Vash and what were they calling him? Nin or something. We had Vash and his brother at the start, and we got that kind of set up into that opening. The opening was amazing, by the way. That was really, really cool. But we had that opening, so we know Vash is related to the colony ship in that sense. And we've got his brother there. So we know that there were two of them. What I kind of assumed they were going to do is I thought they were going to have that opening, and then later in the show they would introduce knives. And because they hadn't used the name Knives in the opening, I thought they were going to play that as a mystery, where you would have this antagonist character, and then down the line they would reveal, oh, actually, this antagonist character is Vash's brother, kind of Vash's brother, effectively, from the opening. It's like, oh wow, okay, that's who that guy is. But then they just threw that out there at the end of the episode. Fine, cool. You don't want to set that up as a mystery. That's fine. Again, it was in the original, not quite in that format, but more or less that in the original, where that was played out over a long period of time. Doesn't need to be in this. I don't need that to be a mystery here. I'm cool with that. People are going to be very annoyed by it, but I am personally not. I mean, fine if you are. I kind of get why, but that doesn't bug me. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's interesting that they've just thrown that all out there at the start. So I think we're probably going to be getting Knives. Maybe we're going to have a more focused plot, like with Knives as more of a central antagonist. Maybe I don't know how many episodes this is going to be. Whether it's going to be a full 23 to 25 run, or if it's just one cour. I might look that up at some point. I'm kind of curious. I think the way they've set up this opening makes me think one cour, and we're gonna kind of rocket through this a bit faster. Don't know, hard to say. Or, I mean, it's so different, right? They could really be doing anything. Yeah, and the original creators involved in this as well. Name escapes me for the moment, but they are involved in this quite heavily. So it's not that this is some kind of cash-in where they're just compressing the entire plot into as short a time as possible to run through it. No, this is a pretty bold reinterpretation. I like it. I like it a lot. I really enjoyed this. Looked great. I like all the characters. It's kind of understated. Oh yeah. I mentioned during the episode that I think one of my suspicions has been confirmed. So I mentioned at the start that there's the manga, right? You've got the original Trigun, and then you've got Trigun Maximum, and the fact that Trigun Maximum is sort of a sequel, sort of a continuation, sort of a reboot in terms of tone. So what I thought this might be is it might be Trigun from the beginning again, but with the tone of Maximum on the first part of the story. Yes, I think it's different even from what that would look like if it was a very basic interpretation of what I said there. But yeah, kind of. This does feel like a much more understated, muted. It's still funny, but not quite as what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Not quite as cartoony, I guess. A little bit more, a little grittier, yeah. And that was kind of the vibe of Maximum, and then I think that is the vibe of Maximum pulled back to the start of the story. So that makes a lot of sense to me, and that is kind of what I was expecting from this. When it said the original creator was coming back and trying it again from the beginning. So that works a lot. As far as things, if there was anything I didn't like about the episode, it's that ending. Well, not the ending, but the kind of whole final action sequence was just a little bit like contrived slightly. Like, first the guy agrees to the duel. It's like, why? It's like, also, why are you agreeing to a duel? Someone provoked you into a duel, and then but a duel with someone else, not with the guy who provoked you. And then he's like, oh, I'm not going to use the pistol. I'm going to use this rocket launch, like this cluster bomb launcher. And then the cluster bomb launcher takes so long to land that there's this whole thing where everyone's running around underneath. The kind of structure of that was kind of weird. I don't. I feel like there are ways you could have done that where it just would have the pacing of it would have made more sense. So I mean, there was that, but honestly, for what we got out of that, I don't feel too bad about it. We had some amazing shots there. Yeah, and like he clearly throws his gun at Vash's feet, and then Vash is like, "Oh, I need bullets from my gun so I can shoot the cluster bombs. But why not just use his gun that's on the floor at your feet?" And then later on, he has his gun. The antagonist, military police guy, has his gun back for some reason, even though he threw it. He's got it back to shoot the bullet out of what? Yeah, okay. Um, we're just going to ignore that one. I don't know if maybe that was an editing thing or like a storyboarding issue, but the rest of the episode was so good in terms of like pacing and the way things were laid out that I'm just going to choose to ignore that. It's fine. And then I'm going to try and play this clip in the video as well, because there's one thing in that final scene, even if it is a little bit disjointed, where Vash. Oh yeah, there's the where she throws the bullet. There's the run when she does the kind of baseball throw of the bullet. I'll put that up. Oh, that looks great. That looks so good. Then he goes to try and catch the bullet. And there's a little bit of a run there. I'll edit in as much of this as I can, because I obviously can't show a lot of it, and I won't show up the sound for obvious reasons. God, just the running animations are so good. I don't like his gun. That's one thing. I really like the traditional Vash pistol. Oh yeah, here we go. There's this short. Oh wow. Oh yeah. So if I've edited this together correctly, that is I just showed the really short kind of fight scene where he's trying to dodge the bullet. It's so good. It reminds me of it's kind of it's weird to say this about something that's CG animated, but it reminds me of Trigger. Like I watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners relatively recently, and something about the kind of movement of that with the fight reminds me a lot of Edge Runners, and it's so dynamic, especially for CGI. That was so good. Yeah, this looks amazing. See, Nero, this is how you do CG. Yeah, and then yeah, and that's the other thing I forgot just about the aside from just having the mystery of Knives, we've got the reveal at the end that Knives caused the ship to crash, and not only that Knives caused the ship to crash, but Vash was complicit in it. Wow, cool. That's it's interesting. We don't know the why of that yet. I mean, I probably do. I mean, assuming they go down the same route, but the audience, a fresh audience, doesn't know why yet. So that is still a mystery as to what exactly happened there. But we do know that, and I think it's interesting because it sets up Vash's guilt quite early on. His kind of feelings of having to atone for something, and his level of responsibility for kind of the state of the world, basically. Is better clarified from the beginning, which is a choice. Again, it's a choice that's going to really annoy a lot of people, but yeah, it's interesting. So you've got this character that you know is out for some degree of atonement. Do you say why before, or do you establish that they're out for atonement and reveal it later? I mean, it's hard to say. Obviously, in this case, they have decided we're going to establish it from the outset, and then we're going to work forward. Although, again, you don't know everything here. There are definitely still aspects to this that are a mystery. So there's still stuff to reveal down the line, but bold choice. Whole thing was a bold choice, actually. That's one of the things I really like about it. It's like they have, because I mean, not to rag on the traditionalists too much, right? I'll try not to go on too far about this. But what would be the point of doing Trigun Brotherhood? Like doing the Full Metal Alchemist thing where we're going to do this all again from the start, because Trigun did have a kind of anime original ending, but at the same time, it didn't go quite as off road as the original Full Metal Alchemist did. So I don't think there was a need for a super faithful reboot that was just the same thing again, because there would have been a lot of retread through the original Trigun anime. like a lot of retread. And I don't think I would have had a huge amount of enthusiasm for that. Again, I haven't watched the original in a long time. Maybe it doesn't hold up as well as I remember. That's possible. That may be why people were more enthusiastic for something that was a lot more faithful to the original source material. Although, again, with the original author being on board here, it's like, what does faithful to the source material mean when the original creator is remaking the thing? And like, you know, but yeah, I'm not very interested in remakes. Like a good parallel to this, right, is the Final Fantasy VII remake. Okay, because when that was announced, I am a massive Final Fantasy VII fan. It was like a formative gaming experience for me on the PS1, right? I didn't quite play it when it came out, but it wasn't that far afterwards, right? In the late 90s, early 2000s. Absolute huge Final Fantasy VII fan. When they announced the remake, next gen remake, I was not interested. I didn't really care. It even came out, like it was released, and I was like, I guess I'll play it eventually, but like, I know this game back to front. I know this game inside out, back to front. Like, just having that again with next gen graphics, and it's only up to the end of the Midgar section, I was like, you know, again, I will play it eventually, but I don't really care that much about this until I heard it was doing something weird. And I was like, oh, it's not just a retread of this story, you know, inside out, something else, it's something different. And I played it and I absolutely loved it. And I loved it for all the reasons that a lot of very kind of sticklers for traditionalism in terms of Final Fantasy VII didn't like it. Because I liked all the things that it changed, all the weird things that it did, and all the extra mysteries it introduced and stuff. So if in my opinion, if you're going to do a remake, it has to be different. Otherwise, well, why bother? You know, like, why even bother making it at all? So this, I love this. This is, yeah, I mean, slight structural things at the end there. That final action sequence was just a bit weird in how it was put together. But in terms of the changes they made, I am like 100% behind it. I'm super looking forward to see what they do with the rest of the story. And it looks so good. It looks amazing. It's fantastic. It's like, it's everything I loved about Hoseki no Kuni. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's biasing me a bit as well, because I love Hoseki no Kuni so much. And this, in a way that Beastars wasn't, I think, possibly just because of the animal character designs. This is evoking all the memories of how much I love that show. It looks so great. It looks amazing. And yeah, I am massively looking forward to seeing more of this. Like, even if the plot completely falls apart, assuming, because with CG anime, I tend to find they hold up better through the run. You don't tend to have, in the same way that a traditionally animated one, you don't tend to have them front loaded with a load of really good stuff and then the quality drops. So I'm assuming we're probably, maybe not like, because some of the stuff in here, like that opening sequence was like movie tier in places. I'm not sure they're going to hold that up through the whole show, but I think there will be a basic level of quality that will be maintained from this first episode through. So even if the plot completely falls off a cliff, it's going to be really good to look at for the rest of the run. Yeah. I'm relieved. I gotta say, I'm relieved, because I was nervous going into this one, because I've watched 3 shows so far for the channel, and 2 out of those 3 I haven't liked very much. The Nier one was pretty disappointing, at least in its first episode, especially in like the visual aspect. And also, well, the Nier thing as well, it's kind of what I was saying about like, why remake something if you're just going to do the same thing. The Nier anime was kind of that as well, where it was just the first section of the game, and I'm like, yeah, I played that like 4 times. I did routes A and B at least twice. Maybe 5 times actually. I think I did route A again at some point and didn't finish it. So yeah, I've seen that. It's like sitting in front of the anime going, yeah, I'm watching this again. I remember this from the game. So yeah, that was kind of disappointing, and I was kind of worried that Trigun, either it just wouldn't be very good, you know, in spite of whatever changes it tried to make, or it would be too faithful and I would just be sitting here going, what's the point? This is, yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the rest of this. I really enjoyed this. 2 thumbs up. Very pleased. Right, so that is almost an hour or so that I've just been absolutely gushing about this. I will endeavour to edit out some of the weird things I did with OBS over the course of that, and edit in some of the footage I was talking about. I think probably for future, that might be a bit ungainly with the way I do it here. I think in the future I'm probably going to have to connect OBS up to VLC so I can actually do that live in the recording in some sense, or try and find a way to do that, because I have a feeling it's going to be full of awkward pauses or me talking over transitions and things. But I'll try and do it so I can illustrate some of the things I was talking about. And that is it for today. Very much looking forward to the next one. I hope everyone else enjoyed it as well. Are you a Trigun traditionalist? I want to know. I want to hear from absolute staunch traditionalists who hated this, because that's really interesting to me, because I loved it so much. I'm not like, that's cool if you really hate this. That's really interesting to me. I'd be interested to hear exactly, why, and what your kind of what your reasoning was, and what your kind of gut feeling was there, and why it kind of it annoys you so much. Although again, I think I can pinpoint a few reasons why that would be. But let me know what you thought of it, and if anyone loves it as much as I do, then let me know as well, because I would be happy to have compatriots in that, because I haven't looked at it, but obviously I haven't looked at the Reddit watch thread for this yet, which I will after this. But I bet this is going to be controversial. But yeah, I will stop babbling now, and I will leave you with that. So I've been Asteroidia. This has been Trigun Stampede. It has been so good. And I will see you in the next episode.